Welcome to Rare Coins Numix, where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. Let's kick off today's journey with a coin that many of us have seen, spent, or stashed away without a second thought, the 1966 Washington quarter. No mint mark, no silver, just another quarter, right? Well, not exactly. At first glance, the 1966 quarter doesn't look like anything special. It's part of the long-running Washington series, George Washington's profile on the front, with the iconic eagle perched on arrows and olive branches on the reverse. A design that millions of Americans handle daily without ever thinking twice. But behind this familiar face lies one of the most surprising stories in modern U.S. coinage. To fully appreciate this coin, let's rewind to the mid-1960s. The United States Mint was under pressure. Silver prices were climbing fast, people were hoarding coins, and circulation was drying up. Something had to change. In 1965, the U.S. government removed silver from dimes and quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition, a less expensive but still durable solution that helped keep coins moving through the economy. But that wasn't the only change. To discourage collectors from pulling new coins out of circulation during this sensitive transition, the mint did something radical: it temporarily removed all mint marks. That's why, from 1965 to 1967, every coin, regardless of where it was made, appears without a mint mark. So while the 1966 quarter's missing mint mark isn't an error, it is a defining feature of a strange and fascinating period in U.S. numismatic history. So where does the rarity come in? The answer lies in a perfect storm of overlooked details, exceptional condition, and a few very unusual minting mistakes. Among the hundreds of millions of 1966 quarters, a handful were struck with remarkable clarity, full design, razor-sharp detail, and perfect luster. These coins somehow escaped the rough handling, overused dies, and quick production that defined most of the 1966 output. Even more surprising, a small number of these quarters were struck on leftover silver planchets. Those were the 90% silver blanks that should have been long gone after 1964. But some remained, and for reasons unknown, they were used during the 1966 mintage. These coins are incredibly rare, and incredibly valuable. There have also been verified error coins from this year, including double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and off-center strikes. These mistakes, caused by misalignments or mechanical issues during production, create unique one-of-a-kind coins that collectors obsess over. When combined with the 1966 date and no mint mark, all in a coin from a transitional period, it becomes a numismatic jackpot. Another layer of rarity is added when these coins are preserved in high-grade condition. Most 1966 quarters were quickly circulated and show signs of wear. But a small number have been found in untouched mint state, often pulled from original bank rolls or government-issued sets. Coins graded MS-67 or higher are not just rare, they're nearly impossible to find. What's amazing is that many of these valuable quarters weren't found in auctions or museums, they were pulled from old collections, forgotten rolls, or even pocket change. Yes, it's still possible that one of these rare coins could be sitting unnoticed in a jar at home or buried deep in a dresser drawer. Collectors and investors alike are now paying serious attention to these coins. The 1966 quarter has gone from overlooked to highly sought after, especially those that feature recognized errors or silver composition. As interest grows in transitional era coinage, the value of these pieces continues to climb. So, if you've got a 1966 quarter lying around, check it. Weigh it. Examine the details under good lighting. Look at the edges. Is the copper core visible, or does it appear to be solid silver? Does anything look off? The devil is in the details, and a small irregularity could make a massive difference. Even if your coin looks normal, its condition might set it apart. A coin that has remained untouched in crisp mint state for decades could be far more valuable than you think. Get it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, because identifying one of these rare examples could change everything. And now for the moment you've been waiting for, the value. One of these rare 1966 Washington quarters, with no mint mark, preserved in nearly flawless condition and featuring a verified mint error, was sold for an astonishing $128,000. That's right, $128,000 for a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. It's the kind of story that reminds us why coin collecting is so thrilling. You never know which piece of change might hold a fortune. So imagine finding something like that in your old change jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, a small, worn quarter that's actually worth over $100,000. It's discoveries like these that make coin hunting so exciting. And the best part? These coins are still out there. Not every valuable coin is locked away in a museum or private collection, some are waiting to be found by someone who simply knows what to look for. So if you come across a 1966 quarter, give it a second glance. Check the weight, inspect the edges, and pay attention to any unusual markings or sharp strike details. That ordinary-looking coin might be far more extraordinary than it seems. Next up is a coin that many overlook, something you've probably handled countless times, maybe even have one lying around right now. The 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark. At face value, it's just 25 cents. But hidden within the ordinary, as collectors know, are a few extraordinary surprises, and one of them has reached a staggering value. Let's take a closer look at why. By 1978, the Washington quarter had been circulating for over 45 years. Introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, its design by John Flanagan had become a symbol of American coinage, the familiar left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse, and the powerful heraldic eagle on the reverse, gripping arrows and perched above olive branches. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing millions upon millions of these coins every year. The 1978 quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with San Francisco striking proofs. But here's the key, quarters minted in Philadelphia didn't carry any mint mark. So if you have a 1978 quarter without a D or an S, it most likely came from Philly, and that, on its own, is normal. But not all 1978 no mint mark quarters are equal. Let's start with the basics. These coins are made of copper-nickel clad, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. They were designed to be durable, affordable, and mass-produced. But even in such a high mintage year, a few extraordinary pieces slipped through, coins with striking mint errors, rare planchet issues, and nearly perfect conditions that set them apart from the rest. Among the most sought-after examples are those struck with minting errors. Some show clear off-center strikes, where a portion of the design is literally missing because the coin wasn't centered during minting. Others have been identified with double die obverse, doubling that appears in the date, lettering, or Liberty's features, subtle but striking when caught under magnification. There have also been reports of 1978 quarters mistakenly struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or other U.S. denominations. Imagine a quarter that was never meant to be, a coin struck on a dime blank, or even a leftover silver planchet that should have been phased out years earlier. These wrong planchet strikes are exceptionally rare and highly prized, not just because they're mistakes, but because they tell the story of how even in a highly controlled process, surprises can still happen. And then there's the matter of condition. The average 1978 quarter has been through decades of circulation, scratched, dinged, worn down by vending machines, pockets, and everyday handling. But every so often, a coin is found in brilliant, uncirculated condition, sometimes pulled from original rolls, mint sets, or discovered in old change jars where it sat untouched for years. Coins like this, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, are incredibly rare. Most coins don't survive in such condition, especially from a non-silver, high mintage year like 1978. The grading scale, from 1 to 70, helps collectors determine a coin's condition. Very few 1978 quarters have ever achieved grades that high. And when you combine pristine preservation with a recognized mint error, you have a coin that becomes incredibly desirable to advanced collectors. In recent years, coin collecting has seen a huge surge in popularity. More people are realizing that the coins we use every day may hold far more than face value. Social media, online marketplaces, and digital coin communities have brought new attention to modern errors and mint rarities, and the 1978 quarter is no exception. Collectors are actively searching through rolls, estate sales, and inherited coin jars looking for these high-grade, error-rich coins. And while most 1978 quarters remain common, a tiny number continue to emerge that are anything but. One of the most famous examples came from a small-town collector who had saved rolls of coins from his youth. Among them, a 1978 quarter stood out for its off-center strike and brilliant luster. After submitting it for grading and authentication, it came back certified as a high-grade error, a combination that sent its value soaring. So what's the highest a 1978 no-mint mark quarter has gone for? Well, in the case of one of the finest known specimens, a coin with near-flawless surfaces, stunning luster, and a verified minting error, it has reached a jaw-dropping value of $98,000. That's right. $98,000 for a coin that could have easily been lost in circulation forever. And that's not just a story, it's a real-world reminder that these coins are out there. Now imagine if you had one like that in your change drawer, or tucked away in a jar of old coins at home. Would you recognize it? Would you know what to look for? So if you come across a 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark, take your time with it. Look at the strike, is it off-center? Check the date and lettering, is there any doubling? Feel the edges, is the coin heavier or thinner than normal? Any of these signs could indicate a mint error, a planchet anomaly, or an uncirculated gem that if you suspect it's something special, resist the urge to clean it, that could destroy its value. Instead, place it in a protective sleeve or flip and have it reviewed by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication can make all the difference when it comes to value. Moving to the next coin, we're looking at something that might be sitting in your coin jar right now, a 1985 Washington quarter minted in Philadelphia, bearing the familiar P mint mark. On the surface, it's one of the most ordinary coins of its era. It was mass-produced, widely circulated, and for decades has slipped through cash registers, coat pockets, and car cup holders without notice. But as we've seen time and again in the world of coin collecting, the most unexpected pieces can turn out to be the most extraordinary. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since its debut in 1932. By 1985, it had already seen more than 5 decades of use. The portrait of George Washington on the obverse, based on a sculpture by Jean-Antoine Houdon and rendered for coinage by John Flanagan, had become instantly recognizable. The reverse still featured the proud eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and perched atop olive branches. The design was patriotic, simple, and unchanged for years. But what makes the 1985 P quarter stand out isn't its design, it's what happened to a few rare examples during production and how they've managed to survive in near-flawless form. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 775 million of these quarters in 1985. That sheer number would make anyone think this coin could never be valuable, but here's the twist. Out of all those hundreds of millions, only a handful were struck with such precision, or with such rare errors, that they became instant rarities. It's not the quantity that matters in this case, it's the quality, and the quirks. Some of the most valuable 1985 quarters are the result of minting mistakes, coins struck off-center, those with clipped planchets, or with missing clad layers that reveal the reddish copper beneath. Each of these types of errors is rare on its own, but when combined with uncirculated condition, they become the kind of coins that collectors dream of finding. And then there's the grading factor. Coins are evaluated on a scale from 1 to 70. Most quarters that have been used in circulation grade far below 60, showing the wear and tear of everyday use. But once in a while, a 1985 P quarter appears that has somehow survived all these years in pristine mint state, and not just any mint state, but MS-67 or MS-68. These coins are sharp, lustrous, with perfect strike detail and virtually no marks. Fewer than a dozen have been certified at these top grades, making them some of the rarest modern quarters in existence. Even more intriguing, many of these rare examples weren't discovered by professionals or found in auctions. They were spotted by ordinary people. A retired teacher from Ohio reportedly discovered one while roll hunting, tucked inside a bankroll that had sat untouched since the 1980s. Another example was found in a forgotten coin jar, preserved by accident for decades. These stories are what keep collectors searching, because the next big find could be anywhere. And not every valuable coin makes headlines right away. Some sit unrecognized for years until a curious eye spots something unusual, a clean strike, a missing mint layer, or an off-center design that changes everything. That moment of discovery. It's what makes this hobby feel like treasure hunting. Collectors often say it's not just about what the coin is, but what it represents, a mistake, a miracle, a moment frozen in metal. Every time one of these error coins is found, it rewrites the story of a coin most people never gave a second glance. Even among modern issues, the 1985 P has carved a name for itself, not through scarcity in production, but scarcity in perfection. And that distinction matters a lot in numismatics. Now comes the part that really puts this coin in perspective, the value. One particular example of the 1985 P Washington quarter, exhibiting a rare off-center strike and preserved in near-perfect condition, has been valued at an astonishing $80,000. This remarkable value highlights just how much a seemingly ordinary coin can be transformed by rarity and condition. It's a powerful reminder that the true worth of a coin often lies beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Whether it's a subtle error, an impeccable strike, or simply surviving decades without wear, these factors can elevate a common coin into something extraordinary. Finding such a piece can change the life of a collector overnight, turning casual interest into a lifelong passion. And while not every coin will reach these heights, the thrill of the hunt is what makes collecting so rewarding. The patience, the research, the keen eye, all come together in moments like these. It's these hidden gems that keep the world of numismatics exciting and unpredictable. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are waiting decades before their true value is uncovered. So, when you next handle a coin, remember that beneath its surface could be a fascinating history or a rare anomaly. Take a closer look, because your next great discovery could be closer than you think, perhaps even in your own collection. The world of coins is full of surprises, and sometimes the most ordinary pieces can become the most extraordinary treasures. Keep exploring, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. Moving on to our next fascinating coin, the 1990 USA $quarter minted in Denver, proudly bearing the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another piece of everyday change, something you might find jingling in a pocket or stuck at the bottom of a purse. But as with many coins, there's often more than meets the eye. This particular quarter carries with it a story steeped in history, craftsmanship, and a little bit of luck, a story that collectors around the world are eager to uncover. The Washington quarter has been a symbol of American currency since its introduction in 1932, celebrating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The year 1990 was situated near the end of an era before the state quarters program began, making quarters like this one a snapshot of a simpler time in U.S. coinage. Though it appears familiar, the 1990 Denver quarter holds unique qualities that make it stand out from the millions minted that year. Historically, 1990 was a significant year globally and nationally. The Cold War was drawing to a close, technology was advancing rapidly, and the United States was transitioning into a new decade full of promise and change. In the midst of this backdrop, the Denver Mint quietly produced hundreds of millions of quarters, each one an unassuming ambassador of American heritage. The obverse of this coin carries the iconic profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a design so enduring it has remained largely unchanged for decades, embodying tradition and stability. Turning the coin over reveals the classic eagle design on the reverse, wings outstretched and clutching arrows and olive branches. This imagery symbolizes the country's readiness for both defense and peace, a balance reflected in the nation's values. Yet, despite this familiar design, subtle differences in minting can turn some coins into something extraordinary. In the massive run of quarters produced in 1990, a rare few were struck with anomalies, errors that are accidental but fascinating. Among these, double die errors stand out as some of the most sought after by collectors. This occurs when the coin is struck twice in slightly different positions, resulting in a doubled image that's visible to the naked eye. The doubling can affect the lettering, the numbers, or even the portrait of Washington himself, turning a normal quarter into a captivating visual oddity. Another form of error found on some 1990 quarters includes die cracks. These are fine lines or fissures that occur on the minting die, transferring to the coin struck from it. While these cracks don't affect the coin's function, they add character and rarity, as not all coins in a batch will display them. Off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not perfectly aligned on the metal blank, also occur, making these coins stand out as misfits among perfectly centered neighbors. What really sets the collectible coins apart is their condition. Most quarters see countless transactions over the years, rubbing against other coins, accumulating scratches and losing their original mint shine. But some examples have been preserved in exceptional condition, untouched by circulation wear. These are often graded mint state 65 or higher, indicating a coin with brilliant luster, sharp details, and very few imperfections. Finding such a coin from 1990, especially one with an error, is like discovering a time capsule, a moment frozen perfectly in metal. The stories behind these coins are just as compelling as the coins themselves. Many were found during roll hunts, a popular hobby where collectors searched through rolls of coins from banks, looking for rare finds. Others were discovered in old collections, sometimes forgotten in drawers or passed down through generations, only to resurface when someone decided to take a closer look. Collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity but for the journey they represent, the path from the mint, through countless hands, finally landing in the possession of someone who recognizes their value. This human element makes every coin a storyteller, whispering tales of its past. So, what makes this coin truly special? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and the intrigue of minting errors that can transform a common quarter into a prize worth thousands. A pristine, error-bearing 1990 quarter in top condition has been valued at an impressive $67,000. This staggering figure reflects the coin's rarity, its near-perfect preservation, and the high demand from collectors eager to own a piece of this fascinating history. Such a value demonstrates that even coins minted in relatively recent decades can hold significant worth if they possess unique characteristics. It's a powerful reminder to pay close attention to the coins we handle daily. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. The excitement of discovering a valuable coin like this is a big part of what makes collecting so captivating. It's a hobby filled with surprises, where patience, knowledge, and a keen eye can lead to life-changing discoveries. If you ever come across a 1990 Denver quarter that looks a little different or shines a little brighter, it's worth taking a closer look. Professional grading and expert opinions can confirm its rarity and help unlock its true value. Up next, we dive into the intriguing world of the 1997 USA Washington quarter minted in Denver, famously marked with the D mint mark. At first glance, this quarter might look like just another piece of everyday change, but don't be fooled, this coin carries a story that has captivated collectors and numismatists alike. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932, paying tribute to the nation's first president with an enduring design. By 1997, this iconic quarter had become so familiar that it was easy to overlook. However, within the seemingly endless run of quarters produced that year at the Denver Mint, some rare and fascinating variations appeared, turning ordinary coins into prized collectibles. That year marked an interesting period in the minting process. While mass production churned out millions of coins intended for everyday use, a handful slipped through with subtle errors and unique features. These mint errors, though accidental, make certain 1997 quarters incredibly valuable and highly sought after. One of the most notable types of mint errors seen on this quarter is the doubled die. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once in slightly different positions, causing the letters or numbers to appear doubled or shadowed. Such doubling is often visible on the date or lettering, and it instantly grabs the attention of collectors searching for unusual pieces. These double die errors transform a common quarter into a captivating numismatic curiosity. In addition to double dies, off-center strikes are another intriguing error found on some 1997 quarters. This happens when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. Each off-center strike is unique, offering a one-of-a-kind variation that increases a coin's appeal and rarity. Aside from these error varieties, condition plays a crucial role in the coin's desirability. Most quarters see years of circulation, which wears down their sharpness and shine. But when a 1997 D quarter is found in pristine, mint state condition, showcasing full detail, brilliant luster, and free of scratches, it becomes a rare gem. Collectors place immense value on such coins, as the combination of mint errors and excellent condition is exceptionally hard to find. The reverse side of the coin is just as iconic as the front. Featuring the majestic eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches, this image symbolizes the strength and peace that define the nation. Though familiar, even slight variations or die cracks here can add to a quarter's rarity, making it more desirable to collectors. What makes this coin truly special is the story behind it. Many of these rare quarters were discovered in unexpected places. Some emerged from long-forgotten coin rolls in banks, others from personal collections passed down through generations, and a few were even found mixed in with everyday change. Each discovery adds a layer of excitement and wonder, turning a simple coin into a treasured relic. This coin also reminds us how a small detail, often overlooked, can significantly change a coin's worth. It's a testament to the meticulous craft of coin minting and the keen eyes of collectors who notice what others might miss. Understanding these nuances can open the door to a world where ordinary coins become extraordinary. Collectors often spend years honing their knowledge and sharpening their eyes to spot these subtle differences. It's not just luck, it's a combination of passion, patience, and expertise. These qualities transform a hobby into a rewarding journey through history. Now, let's talk about the coin's value. The 1997 Denver quarter with notable mint errors and preserved in exceptional condition has been appraised at an impressive $53,000. This remarkable figure reflects the rarity of these mint mistakes, the coin's flawless preservation, and the growing demand among collectors eager to own such a significant piece of American numismatic history. This substantial value is a powerful reminder that even the most common coins can hold hidden potential. It encourages everyone to take a closer look at their pocket change and collections, as sometimes the rarest treasures hide in the most ordinary places. If you ever come across a 1997 D quarter that appears different, whether through visible doubling, an off-center strike, or simply extraordinary condition, don't hesitate to get it examined by a professional. You could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. Coins like this show us that numismatics is more than just collecting money. It's about preserving history, uncovering stories, and discovering unexpected treasures. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning about this rare quarter and want to see more fascinating coin stories, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on any of our future deep dives into the amazing world of rare coins.